Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Carson's Call. Thank you all for tuning into episode 2. Let's start this episode off with some recent events about the arresting of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Yesterday morning around 1 a.m., in a span of 3 hours, President Trump sent in a military organization to Venezuela in which they came in through air invasion. They bombed the place, the capital to be specific, and they captured and brought back to New York City President Maduro, all within a span of 3 hours. Very impressive. Zero casualties, by the way, on the American side of things. So that's quite amazing. Um, this is obviously a historic moment. This president, well, let's be honest, he's not really a president. He's a cartel, communist dictator, terrorist who has been in power for the past 25 years, I believe. And, he's caused a bunch of horrible things to occur within Venezuela. Insane inflation, high murder rates. Venezuela has become the most dangerous country on a global scale. And he's finally been arrested and he's going to be brought to justice in New York City. Um, this should be a good thing. I feel like it should be a unanimous decision um, that yeah, this is a good thing. We should not be upset about a dictator being arrested and taken out of power. However, for some reason, many Americans on the left are opposed to this and they're calling for Maduro to be freed, sent back to Venezuela. They're calling Trump a international war criminal. And I think it's all so stupid. Why are people upset about this? He's a dictator and he's finally out of power. I mean, we have people here in America who are upset about this, yet the citizens of Venezuela who, had to live and endure under his regime for the past 25 years are celebrating him being out of power and finally being, brought to justice. I mean, you can look up online. There's a lot of clips out there, mainly on X and Twitter, because the media doesn't always show those types of things. But a lot of people in Venezuela who are celebrating the fact that Maduro's gone. They're thanking America. They're thanking President Trump for ending the dictatorship and for ending this regime that has destroyed Venezuela. The left, a couple months ago, the whole No Kings protest that took place on a nationwide scale against Trump because people were saying that he's acting like a king, he's a dictator for bypassing the courts, and they want to impeach Trump, kick him out of office, arrest him, all that. Why are they all of a sudden so in favor of a dictator of Venezuela being in power? Why are we celebrating Maduro and the idea of him getting released? Why are we okay with him being in power, slaughtering his own people, ruining his own country, crippling the economy? I mean, some people are saying, oh yeah, we should let the Venezuelans deal with it, let them, if they want to change who's in power, they should be the ones in control, like how it is here, if we don't want our president in office, we can impeach him or vote someone else in. However, I don't think people understand that that's not what happens under a dictatorship. Yeah, there's still elections in Venezuela, but they're not lawful nor really legitimate. He's a cartel president. He's a terrorist, a dictator. Of course, he's going to win the presidency. It's kind of like how it is in Russia. Vladimir Putin, he's the president of Russia. There are elections for presidency. However, I think we all understand that Putin is a dictator. He's going to win the election unless he doesn't want to. The Russian people cannot vote in another president because that president would get killed by Putin, or the entire thing would just be rigged in Putin's favor. The Venezuelan people similarly cannot do the same thing of voting in a new guy, impeaching Maduro, whatever. You can't do that under a dictatorship. You think the people of Nazi Germany would have voted in someone else besides Adolf Hitler? No, they couldn't. There were no elections, no legitimate elections. Everything was rigged. If there was someone else, they'd get killed. We can't leave it to the Venezuelan people to get Maduro out of power, to change the presidency so their country can get fixed. No, they can't do that. I really do not understand why the American left is so against this dictator being brought to justice. I mean, this guy has helped with the smuggling of millions and probably billions of drugs into the United States within the past 25 years. He's killed his own people. When his people try to rise up against him, he sends in his own militia and they take them out. He's destroyed the Venezuelan economy. There's a reason why Venezuela is the most dangerous country in the world right now. I feel like that's a pretty unanimous belief, but I guess not. Um, and you have people on the left who are upset about this. And I'm gonna go on a limb and say the only reason they're really upset that Maduro is being brought to justice is because it's Trump. Trump is the one behind it all. He's the one who brought him to justice. He's the one who organized the military to go to Venezuela. I mean, because like, a lot of people have been against Maduro. You know, people on the left, people on the right. But I think the problem is that Trump is the one who is bringing him to justice, is the one in charge of the military organization. You know, he's the commander in chief. Therefore, whatever he does, people on the left are just so against him that they're gonna do the complete, be in favor of the opposite. Whatever Trump does, people on the left are not gonna support it. I mean, this is a good thing, you know. If Putin were arrested and brought to justice, that would end the war in Ukraine and world tensions would ease a little bit. But if it was Trump who is bringing Putin to justice, I think people would be upset about it. I know it's been like almost 4 years now, this Russia Ukraine war. A lot of people are in favor of Ukraine winning. They're so against Putin. But if Putin were arrested and brought to justice by the American people under Trump's presidency, I think you would see a lot of backlash against that. I mean, I feel like if you know Adolf Hitler were in power now and he were invaded and kidnapped and spent 3 hours just like we did with Maduro yesterday morning, there would probably be people in favor of Adolf being released, all because Trump is the one who was behind it. I mean, this should not be something we are divided on. The West is actively falling apart just because of identity politics. Oh, Trump did this, it's bad, I'm against it. We need to understand that this is a good thing. We're helping the Venezuelan people. They are celebrating. They are ripping down posters and like billboards and taking down statues of Maduro within hours of him being taken away. They are celebrating. They're thanking America. They're thanking Trump. They're thanking the American military for what happened. The people who have lived under this regime for the past 25 years are thankful that he's gone and that someone new can come to power. Now, is it going to be someone who's actually good? I don't know, but the fact is that the dictator is gone and people are celebrating as they should. If you're being freed from an authoritarian dictatorship, you should be happy that it's gone. However, you got people here in America who are upset about it. Oh, Maduro should not have been kidnapped. That we bombed the Capitol. Oh, there's another war going on. There's no war. The conflict was ended within 3 hours. Zero American personnel died. He was arrested because he was committing crimes against humanity to his own people. for smuggling drugs into United States and for just, all of his unbelievably evil habits and actions that he's committed. And we have people upset about this. That's so stupid. We shouldn't be upset about this. We should be celebrating the fact that a dictator was taken out of power. Because now world tensions can ease a little bit. I know there wasn't much of a threat from Venezuela because they're a third world country and they're severely underdeveloped. But we should still be happy with this. I mean, if people believe that Trump's a dictator and they want to see him killed, they want to see him impeached, arrested, thrown in jail, brought to justice, whatever. Why do they not want to see the same thing with another dictator in Venezuela? It's because it's not Trump. I mean, I guarantee you this all has to do with the fact that it's just Trump behind it all. And like I hate to say that because I'm not a big Trumpy. I don't like Trump. I mean, he's sold out to Israel. He's not a great president. He's done some good things, but I mean a lot of the things I don't really agree with him on. But I have to give him credit for this because this is awesome. This is an amazing accomplishment. I feel like we should all understand that. I mean, we've in American politics, a lot of politicians have been wanting Maduro to be arrested. But now that, Trump is the one who does it, people want to see him released and brought back to Venezuela. It's unbelievable. I mean, why are we so upset about this? It's so petty. It's so unbelievably disgusting. I mean, we should be happy. We should be celebrating this. This shouldn't be a thing that divides us. I really just wonder if a lot of people who have like the Palestinian flag and the Ukraine flag and like their online usernames or bio or anything, if they're gonna add the Venezuelan flag or replace the Palestinian flag, which replaced the Ukrainian flag, because they just gotta support whatever you know whatever Trump doesn't want. It's all unbelievable. I mean, come on, this is so petty. We should all grow up a little bit and be okay with this. This shouldn't be dividing us. Let's be so real now. Come on, man. A dictator got arrested in the span of 3 hours. You know how impressive that is? With zero American personnel dying? 3 hours. And people online were saying like, oh, I hope Trump declares war on the cartels because the cartels don't play around like the military does. Oh, I hope all the American military men who go to Venezuela come home in body bags. Oh, I hope, America invades Venezuela so another war happens and possibly World War III. I mean, Venezuela got completely screwed over by its allies. China and Russia just left it there. That sucks, man. Have fun dealing with American forces. I mean, Xi Jinping, I'm pretty sure just, called for the releasing of Maduro. Like, oh no, you poor thing. If China is wanting this guy to be released and put back in power, are we really going to start siding with China? No, thank you. Even Zorhan Mamdani, he had a little speech or whatever. He was saying like, I got in contact with the president and I told him about my opposition to Maduro being arrested. Buddy, you are the mayor of New York City. You're on day what? It must have been day 3 or 4 now. You're not that important. Quit trying to make it about you. You think the president's gonna care what a mayor has to say about this? Like, yeah, I know he's the mayor of New York City, the like biggest city in America, but dude, this is the president. This isn't your jurisdiction. It's not about you. Shut up. Celebrate the fact that dictator's gone. No, I think it's all pretty stupid. I mean, just be happy. But no, we just gotta. Trump's a war criminal. He's broken international law. What he's doing is unlawful. This is awful. Release Maduro. The people of Venezuela want him. No, they don't. No one wants Maduro in power. The Venezuelan people are happy he's gone. If you really want Maduro back in power and you think he lived and led a great presidency, how about you go live in Venezuela? You're probably not going to, but stand by your word, Just do it.